Welcome back, dear students. Today we are going to continue our talking about fractions, decimals, and percents. We're going to learn how to compare and order them. First, to compare fractions and order fractions together, we have to do something that is very important. Fractions that have different denominators should have the same denominator. So, to compare fractions, you should follow the following steps. Number one, you find the least common denominator, which is the LCD of the fractions. That is, find the least common multiple of the denominators. So the LCD is the LCM of both or all denominators. Number two, write an equivalent fraction for each fraction using the LCD and then compare the numerators. Of course, we will show you an example to explain this. First, we want to know what is the LCD. This is the definition. The least common denominator, which is LCD, is the least common multiple of the denominators of two or more fractions. Here is an example. We want to compare between these two fractions, 5/6 and 7/8. The first thing to do is you find the LCM for 6 and 8, which are the denominators, and because 6 and 8 are denominators, we call it the LCD, not only LCM. So quick review for the LCM. You can find this in another video, but I will show you here again. I know this method is very easy. This is called the ladder method. We have to write 6 and 8, then we find the factor that 6 and 8 can be divided by, so which is 2, and 6 divided 2 is 3, 8 divided 2 is 4. Now divide 3 and 4 by the same factor, and there are no common factors, only 1. So wherever I reach 1, I stop here and I close the L. Now the LCD is 2 times 1 times 3 times 4, and 2 times 1 times 3 times 4 is 24. So LCD equal 24. Now we rewrite the fractions with the new denominator, which is 24. So 5/6 equal what over 24? So we multiply 6 times what to get 24? Multiply 6 times 4. And by the same way, I multiply the 5 by 4. So the answer will be 20/24. Here, the 8 to be 24, I multiplied by 3 down, and I multiply the 7 up by 3 also, so it will be 21. Now you have the same denominator for both fractions, so that you can compare the numerators. So you just compare the 20 and the 21 here. So the answer will be, to compare them, of course, the 21 is greater than 20, and this means that 7/8 is greater than 5/6. Another example showing the comparison between fraction and decimal. Here we have a fraction 3/4, and we here have a decimal 7/10. To compare them, we first rewrite the fraction as a decimal. So whenever you have a fraction and a decimal, first write the fraction as a decimal. And of course we know how to do this from another video. 3/4, we want to make it a fraction over 10 or 100 or 1000. And we know that 4 times 25 is 100. So we also multiply 3 times 25, we get 75. So this is 75 hundredths, and it's written in 0.75 like this. Next step is to annex a 0 to 0.7, and then we compare. Because 0.7, we have only one decimal place after the decimal point, and 0.75, we have two decimal places. So we add another 0 here, and then like this, and then we compare starting from the left hand side. We compare 0 with 0, doesn't tell me anything, so I have to go to the next place value, which is tenths. 7 and 7, again they are the same, so we continue 5 and 0, and we stop here and we write greater than, because 5 is greater than 0. Another example showing the comparison between percent and decimal. Again, as we showed before, for the fraction we have to write it as a decimal. Also for the percent we have to write it also as a decimal before we compare. So 165% is 165 over 100, and this means is equal to 1.65, because we shift the decimal point 2 places to the left. So again, I can show you this why it happened, because 165 is like 165 0, and this decimal point, because it's over 100, we have two zeros, so, and it's division, so we're going to shift the decimal point 2 places to the back or to the left, so it will be placed here, so it is 1.65. Now we annex a 0 to 6.5 to make it 2 decimal places like the 2 decimal places on the other decimal number. Now we compare them. We start from the left hand side, 1 and 6, and from the beginning it shows that 6 is greater than 1.65, and this means that 6.5 is the greater number than 165%. Number 4, percent and fraction. We're going to compare now a percent and a fraction. To do this, we are going to rewrite both of them as decimals. First, the percent as a decimal. 0.3% is equal to 0.3 over 100, and again we're going to shift the decimal point 2 places to the left. So let me show you here. Here is the decimal point. The original one is after the 0. Now we're going to shift it 1, and I put a 0, and then another 1, and I put a 0, and I stop here, put the decimal point. So as you see here, it is 0.003, and this is the answer. 1/5, we want to write it as a decimal, so write the fraction as a decimal. 1 over 5 equal what over 10 or 100 or 1000? We know that 5 times 2 is 10, so also we multiply 1 times 2 equals 2, and 2 tenths equals 0.2. Look, here we have 1 decimal place after the decimal point, and here we have 3 decimal places. So who can tell me what we can do is, yes, we annex 2 zeros to 0.2, and then we compare. So we'll put 2 zeros here like this. So we have 3 decimal places here and 3 decimal places here, and then we look here, this is 0.003 and 0.200. Start comparing from this. This is 0, this is 0, so we have to continue to the other one. This is 0, the underlined one, and this is 2, and of course 2 is greater. This means that 1/5 is greater than 0.3%. Now, to order percents, fractions, and decimals together, who can tell me what we can do? The first step is to rewrite all the numbers as decimals. So we should write the percent as decimal, the fraction as decimal, the decimal should be as it is, and the fraction also as decimal. So these are the original numbers. Now we'll start by 65%. 65% is 65 over 100, and this means the decimal point will be shifted 2 places to the left, and it will be here, so it is 0.65. And then the 3/4 or 3/4, the 4 should be 100 by multiplying by 25 up and down. 75 over 100 is 0.75. The last one is 1 over 2, and 1 over 2 we multiply up and down by 5 to get 5/10, which is 0.5. So now the decimal numbers are 0.65, 0.75, 0.7, and 0.5. Here, as you see, we have 2 digits after the decimal point, 2 digits after the decimal point, 1 digit and 1 digit. So we have to do what? Yes, very good. So we have to annex zeros where necessary. So we put the zeros, as you see, we put it in blue here. These are the additional zeros, which is the annex. Now we can order. So the order will look like, of course, from least to greatest. This is the smallest one, and 0.65, then 0.70, and then 0.75. To put them in order in the original numbers, so 0.5 was originally 1 over 2, and 0.65 was originally 65%, 0.70 was originally 0.7, and 0.75 was originally 3/4. Hope you understand and like the video. Please subscribe and leave any comment. Thank you. Bye.